So guys, this is Justin and Devin with Interactive ATV Trails. We just finished up the Devil's Racetrack in the San Rafael Swell area. Epic ride, epic trail. Yeah. Just, oh man, talk about pushing yourself to the limit. You know, testing your skills, see if you can manage to get over some of the toughest obstacles that we've encountered to date. Devil's Racetrack, it's one of the funnest trails we've ridden so far. We're up there at the top of the list. We started at the north end of the racetrack and we worked our way south. So we started at Coal Wash, and that initial climb from Coal Wash up the trail is pretty tricky. It's deep, loose sand, and then you're met with a really sharp switchback that is just one big ledge. Yeah. And if you're not prepared for it, it's going to catch you off guard.
Well, it's really sandy to start out, so you start in some pretty deep sand, and then you have to make a left-hand turn and go straight up, and then it's ledge
after ledge,
and then you're going uphill. I mean, there's a lot of the ledges are that typical. That's the way they are. There's uphill and you're hitting a ledge.
The trail seemed to have a pattern. It was ledge section, real rocky section, followed by a really smooth, kind of windy, meandering, sandy section that you could really get some speed and just kind of whip around the turns. A lot of the turns are bank turns, so you can really just race around those. Probably the most challenging and technical, with the steepest ledges, the most ledges, and the most prolonged ledges, is about midway through, which is kind of where the gate section, most people refer to as it's the gate, because there's a barbed wire fence that comes up and kind of directs you through this narrow passage. That's the gate. And so a lot of people choose to turn around there and go back because those ledges are daunting.
They're difficult. I mean, we had, there's 4 of us, and 2 of us made it, but we just hit it with momentum, and you just attack it. The other 2 were a little more hesitant and stalled out. Yep. And that was, I mean, you just have to go for it.
You got to go for it, and you got to watch that clutch. You got to keep them. You got to pay attention to your motor. Are your RPMs dropping? They are. Pull that clutch and get those RPMs back up, and that's something our fellow riders were struggling with. Just wasn't paying attention to that clutch and controlling it, and stalled out. And unfortunately, they had kickstarters, and so they're on this ledge trying to balance their bike and kickstart, and it just makes it challenging. And so, we spent quite a bit of time there, just examining the area, and we decided that no matter which direction you're going,
it's difficult.
It's difficult, man. That is
the way we came. There was one drop that was a good, I mean, I would say it was 3 to 4 feet.
3 to 4 feet, at least.
And so to go up that, there was maybe just a little step to get to it. And I mean, that's one of those where it doesn't matter. It was just a straight ledge, and you just go.
You just go for it. And that's the thing, is if you're picking your line right, you can just go for it. And so the key is just, we say this a lot in our videos. If you watch a lot of our videos, we may sound repetitive, but it's all about line selection, looking out ahead and picking the most appropriate line where you're going to have success.
Yeah, and on this trail, you can, I think, slowing your pace down, you're forced to, just because of the difficulty, but it forces you to really use your imagination and pick the line. And if you look at it, there was one area right at the gate, and we'd all, after they'd stalled out, we stopped for a minute, and we just sat and looked, and we all kind of picked a line and said, I'm going to go, go this way, and some were and there was actually a really easy way, but if you were going balls to the wall all the time, you might miss some of those easier ones and get caught up in trying to do something maybe you're not comfortable with or capable of.
Yeah, and so you'll know when you get to the gate section. It's by far the largest, most prolonged ledge section. And like I said, no matter which direction you're going, it's going to be difficult. And then from there on out, it's just one small ledge section followed by some sharp, windy turns with some loose sand conditions, some hard pack, a little bit more sand, slick rock, which is not slick at all. No. It's like glue and sand. It's just like sandpaper. It grips.
You really, I mean, it's just like concrete.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
So we had a great time. The Devil's Racetrack is definitely not for beginners. Quads, side by side, you're going to be putting along. You're going to be going pretty slow. You can do it. We talked to some guys that did it on 4-wheelers, and I asked them, so how do you do it? What's the key? he said, just keep your momentum. Keep your momentum, and in those real ledgy areas, just make sure your body's in the right position. That's the same as true for a dirt bike.
Yeah, I think a lot of the principles apply to all the different machines.
No matter what you're on, quad, side by side, dirt bike, it's an extreme trail. It's very difficult.
Yeah, a lot of fun, and beautiful scenery, and you're not gonna find a place anywhere that's this beautiful and have. I mean, we're here. You know, it's November. It's a little chilly, but I had my sweater off and I was sweating. I mean, it was difficult.
It was a spectacular day. Amazing trail. I'm beat up. I'm bruised. I'm tired. I'm ready to go home, which means I'm done. I got my fix. That was a great ride. So overall, Devil's Racetrack is very difficult, even extreme, and it'll help you become a better rider.
Well, you get a lot of, I think the theme down here is the change in terrain. I mean, it's all sandy, sagebrush. It's all the same, but the trail changes so much that it keeps you on your toes and it keeps you wanting more. And wondering what's around the next bend, what's it going to be like, and it was exciting. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun. It was an absolute awesome day, and so this is Justin, Devin with Interactive ATV Trails. Get out and ride. Find your next adventure.